Well, here we go with another video series. And which one of these games am I working on? Well, kind of both. But right now I'm going to focus today on this. This is a, 19, what is it, an 80 or 81 Gottlieb Haunted House. Backglass is sitting over here. But I picked this up a couple of weeks ago, and it's a dead game. I bought it from a guy's basement up in the Netherlands, up near Amsterdam, and it was a long story getting it out of there. But anyway, the game is dead. It doesn't boot up, and I'm going to do a video series on this because I'm going to have to do a little bit of work to it. Well, I'll just show you what happens when we turn the game on. Not much, okay? We get general illumination. We get the flashing lights up here at the top, but that's controlled just by the same type of animator board that does the light panel on Herbivore, and also the lights on Haunted House that go in the circle, and also on the ramp. They use the same animator board. All four of these games use the same board, so that's not computer controlled. The only thing I really have going on here is some GI, and here in the back box. Again, I did technically start a couple of weeks ago. I took this main board off. There was some acid damage here. There was a NiCad battery. Is that acid or alkaline? I don't know. But anyway, there was a NiCad battery that was on this main board, and it had leaked a little bit. There were a couple transistors that had fallen off here, and I cleaned the board as much as I could, of corrosion, and then replaced both of those transistors. Right now I've got two solid lights here on the power supply board, and there's some test points here that you can check voltages, but the voltages are not right. So the first thing I need to do is start at the bottom of the cabinet and check the power on the fuse block, and make sure that everything that's coming out of the transformer is right. And then perhaps I need to rebuild this power supply here. The only other thing I've really done up to this point was I took the lower playfield out of the game. I had removed this when we were carrying it out of the guy's house because the game is so unbelievably heavy. And the lower playfield I cleaned the drop targets. They look not too bad. There's a couple of wear spots here I'm going to have to deal with. And then I've got some small Mylars that I could probably put over that, or maybe just some clear coat. Got some clear coat here. I'm going to remove this pop bumper and try to fix this underneath the pop bumper as best I can, and then put a new Mylar down underneath that. I don't know why Gottlieb used these Mylars that just float. This is the same on my Haunted or my Black Hole, and it causes it causes damage to the artwork on the edge. I don't know why they do that. So I replaced mine with Mylar that actually stick down. And I really like that a lot better. There's a little bit of corrosion. It was in a damp basement in this guy's house. And, these parts probably going to have to be tumbled, some of the stuff. But, so the game is unplugged now. And here's a fuse block. And, we get the power coming in. We know the game has power, obviously, because we get the GI lights. So I'm first going to check all these fuses and make sure that those are the correct size fuses. And then start checking voltages as they come out of these transformers. There's two transformers back here. And here's all the fuses, okay? So we've got F1, F2, 3, all those. So I'm going to check all those fuses and make sure that they're the correct fuses. And then I'll probably power the game on, put my multimeter on there, and check some of those voltages just to make sure. And then I'll keep moving from there. And eventually it should get to the power supply. Well, as is normal for a lot of older machines, every single fuse was wrong. And some of them were a little bit scary because, okay, this F4 was burned out. And F4 is supposed to be an 8 amp slow blow. There was a 15 amp in it, and it was blown. So, I don't know about that. All of these were wrong. F5, 6, and 7 are supposed to be a 7.5 amp. They were all 15 amp fuses. They were not blown, but still F3 is supposed to be a 1/4 amp slow blow. There was a 10 amp in it. Oh man. So who knows what's happened. You know, I don't really blame the people I got this from. I got this from a gentleman. His dad had it in the basement of the house, and actually it had been there ever since they moved in. It had been there for 10 years and never worked, never been turned on. The people that they bought the house from, you know, it was there and they didn't want to move it, right? So the bad news was the game had been sitting for 10 years. The good news is the game had been sitting for 10 years and nobody had really touched it. So the playfield wasn't any further, you know, there was no further wear on the playfield because the balls that were in the machine were pretty horrendous. So, okay, fuses have been changed. So let's see if we get anything. Okay, I'm going to get and fire the machine on with you here. So let's see what happens. Let's watch the fuses, see if anything blows. So I started checking voltages here on the fuses, and you might be able to hear this hum in the background. Initially, I thought it was the transformers making this noise, but it's actually just this pot here. It's producing some sound. So, yeah, that pot is bad. And it sounds like the soundboard's not doing anything. But okay, so I did start again here on the diagram, going through the fuses. And for instance, F8 here. F8 right here is supposed to be 24 volts DC, which it shows that it's about 26.2 or something like that. Let's see. There should be DC. Yeah, it's DC volts. F8 there. 26.39 DC. So that's good. 5, 6, and 7 are all AC. 6.2 volts. F6 is 6.2 volts. So these voltages, one or two of them are for the GI, I think. Well, it's the next day, and as it normally happens, I had somewhat of a realization, an epiphany last night. In the middle of the night, I woke up and I realized that I'd forgotten to plug in a wire. And maybe those of you who are watching my video closely were probably screaming at your computer, telling me, hey, dummy, you forgot the actual cable that connects the power supply voltage to the MPU. Oh man. So then I couldn't fall back asleep because I knew what I did wrong. Anyway, so I grabbed it off my workbench, plugged it in here, and gonna give it a shot. So let's see what happens here. Here goes nothing. Well, we have displays. Let's see what they do. Do they just sit there or do they change? Ooh, they change. Okay, so I just learned from a guy's YouTube channel that I watch. Man, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. We have lights. Yes. What I was going to say was Joe's Classic Arcade Games, a great YouTube channel where he does a lot of repairs. And he just mentioned in one of his videos, I think they were working on a Cleopatra, and he said that if the displays change like they're doing here, that the MPU actually booted. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have computer-controlled lights flashing on the playfield. So I'm pretty happy about that. And our displays are up. All 5 of the displays. I can see down here the credits is sitting at 0. Let's just see what would happen. I should put the playfield back down, I guess. Hey! We have sound! I can't believe it! Alright, so the thing hasn't run in 10 years, and maybe it's going to run today. So I'm going to put the phone down, and I'm going to put the playfield down, and let's see if we can actually get it to do something. Man, I'm really happy. Well, folks, she's got some life left in her. gonna do from here? I think the next step is, now that I know the game actually boot, is I'm gonna finish stripping the top of the playfield, or strip the top of the playfield. Because obviously I'm gonna rebuild all these flippers, the pop bumpers. I've got some repainting I need to do here underneath these Mylars. The upper playfield I'm gonna remove. I think it's these two posts here, the ramp comes out, and then this whole upper playfield will lift out of the game. And that'll be able to be put on the workbench and be a lot easier to work on. I need to fix this drop target bank. A minute ago I didn't think that the tube popped down, but now I'm gonna, I don't know, figure that out. Obviously this flipper hack that was going on here, I'll have to undo that. And all these metal parts I'm gonna tumble so they'll be nice and shiny and look brand new. And yeah, hopefully I can get a lot of this dirt off here with magic eraser and some alcohol. And then, you know, I'll have some paint on top obviously to do. So a lot of work. I've got a bunch of parts that I ordered. I've got a brand new window that I ordered for it. I've got the lower spider web. I think some downstairs. I've got the lower spider web panel that covers that. It was missing from the game. And what else? I've got a new back glass for it sitting over there on the other side of the room, but I need to get the metal trim for it. This one here, it started to flake on me and the paint's coming off, so. And then I'll LED it. I've got to look at the displays. I think that one display here was a bit dodgy. And then the sound, yeah, the power supply needs to be rebuilt. There's a whole slew of stuff, so enough to fill up a couple videos anyway. And let's drain the balls here because I want to hear my favorite part of this game is the sound, the music that it makes at the end of the game. You got to check this out. Listen to this. I just love that. So yeah, there it is. Haunted house. It's coming back to life. All right, take it easy.